Divine peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Collease88. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, so for those of you who are familiar with shadow work, I'm going to light some candles. Got to light them. Okay, I didn't want it to be too dark. So I'm going to go ahead and sage this space. Mostly because I'll be tapping into some things you might know of. For those of you who don't know what shadow work is, first and foremost, you do not have to do shadow work at all, okay? It is a choice. Shadow work is also a way for us to realign with who we truly are so that we can have a more fulfilling life, so that we can get to know ourselves, our authentic selves, and so that, we are aware of how we may have harmed others because we have been harmed. So as they say, hurt people hurt people. And if you're hiding parts of yourself, then you are hurting. And that's just plain and simple. So is shadow work is also when you are willing to integrate both your hidden and your revealed sides of self. It's not always what other people say about you. Some people, if they're empathic, they may get it right. Others, they're going off of either popular opinion or what they feel may be the issue with you. And if you're a person that does not care what other people think with regards to you, that is all fine too, but you would like to feel more whole, that is fine also. To take part in this, pick a card and to figure some things out. So again, um, it may touch on subjects in your childhood that may be a trigger today, okay? And it is meant to help you to heal and grow into one being, okay? And integrating yourself into society, an authentic person, okay? So it's not to say that if you have to do shadow work that you are being fake. It is just that you are not fully aware of why you are the way you are. And sometimes it has to do with our experiences in life, our childhood, what society says isn't right, neither here nor there. If you're wanting to know what's in your shadow that needs your attention right now, then stick around for this pick a pile. So we have pick a pile option number 1. We have pick a pile option number 2. Pick a pile number 3. Pick a pile number 4. Pick a pile number 5. Pick a pile number 6. So I'll give you all about 30 seconds to decide on which pile is right for you. And if you're pulled to more than one pile, feel free to choose more than one, but always go with your first instincts or wherever your eyes lead you to. Okay? Let's put 30 seconds in time. Okay, welcome back. So for those of you who chose pick a pile option number 1, let's go ahead and reveal what you have here. Okay, so you have be assertive. That's going to pretty much answer the question to whether or not you are prepared to do the necessary work to pull yourself together. If it's important to you, then by all means, do what's important to you, important to your path. So as you can see, we have quite a few cards out here. And for those of you who are part of my group and have received a full shadow self-reading, you know that it can be really deep and triggering kind of work, but it's healthy. It's healthy to heal. Okay. Okay. There's nothing wrong with seeking to be one with yourself, whole. Nothing wrong with it at all. Some people wonder why they do what they do, and they would like to change, and this is why shadow work is important for situations like that. For those of you who have that in mind, to be the best person you can be, the best version you can be, to connect with your higher self. Okay, so we have all of your cards out here. The first card here answers the question of whether or not you are prepared to do the work. This is saying yes. If you're going to assert yourself on your path to bringing yourself to or in full alignment, then definitely do the work. Now, I'm going to get my book for this card. I want to give you the full definition, full meaning of this particular card. And trust me, I read faster than what I talk, so I won't hold you too long. For some reason, I have to take my time. Other times, I have to talk slow. You'll know when spirit jumps in because I get talking. Okay, so impact. It says, if you have drawn the sigil, you are not seeing the impact that your thoughts, beliefs, words, or actions are having on others. In this situation, you are hurting others, but you aren't aware of it. If you are drawn to this sigil, notice how your body language impacts others. Are you choosing words that can Are you choosing words that can be mean or misunderstood and provoke negative feelings? Let me get comfortable because this is going to be long. Are you not realizing how you might be casting doubt on the value of other people's input or ideas? Are you rationalizing hurting other people by thinking or saying things like, he or she will get over it? He or she is too sensitive. I'm just being honest. Or you have to break an egg to make an omelet. Can you open your mind to see the ways that your decisions and actions are affecting other people? Imagine a 2-year-old child who perceives that the world revolves around him or her completely. Essentially, we have an egocentric worldview. This is why we take everything personally as children. For example, if mom and dad get a divorce, it's because of me. This 2-year-old child does not practice external consideration yet. He does not think about how his whining or crying affects his parents. He simply whines and cries because that is the truth about how he feels. The 2-year-old does not think about the perspectives or feelings of a kitten he encounters. He picks it up by the neck because that is the most convenient way for a 2-year-old to pick up a kitten. When the kitten screams in pain and terror, he does not understand what the kitten is experiencing. So he does not put the kitten down. Potentially, the kitten will die, and then the 2-year-old will be confused about what happened. The 2-year-old killed the kitten because he was not attuned to the kitten. Attunement is being or bringing into harmony. It is a feeling of being at one with something. The best way to imagine attunement is to imagine sitting in your car and reaching for the radio dial. If you want to hear the music being played at a particular frequency like 98.2 FM, you need to tune your radio dial 98.2 FM. And then you will hear the music. Your own radio dial needs to be brought into harmony with or become one with the radio channel you want to receive in order to perceive that channel. Let's continue. So it's no difference with other beings, including people, to be able to perceive other people, to feel and see and hear them, to understand them and communicate with them. You need to attune to them. You need to tune into them as if you are them so as to be able to feel or imagine the other person's emotional experience and to understand what they are feeling. This is what allows you to know what to do in any given situation to end conflict or improve a situation or to assist someone. Attunement is what gives rise naturally to empathy. The most dangerous people in the world are people who are in an egocentric bubble. They are essentially toddlers in a grown-up body holding kittens by the neck. But those kittens are other people. And even though it would be great if all people just naturally developed out of the egocentric bubble and into attunement, the reality is that some people do not. They stay in a reality built for one. There are people who live by the philosophy that we are totally responsible for how other people feel. And there are people who believe we are in no way responsible for how other people feel. Both polarized views do not represent a full picture of reality, and thus both polarized views lead to suffering. Also, both philosophies have arisen as a way to cope with trauma. But if you have drawn the sigil, you may be currently falling into the secondary illusionary philosophy. The main problem with this philosophy is that those who support it see themselves as separate. No matter whether they preach oneness or not, everything you think, say, and do affects the whole. You cannot escape this no matter how hard you try because oneness is one of the more objective truths of the universe. Many of the people who adhere to the philosophy that they are not responsible for how anyone else feels think they have it all figured out because they aren't in a lot of pain. But they are not in a lot of pain because they have found ways to disassociate from feeling in and of itself. They have created coping mechanisms. Excuse me. They have created coping mechanisms to avoid feeling, which automatically includes understanding what others feel. This is because when you are feeling others, you are still feeling them through your own body. And these people are unwilling to do that. If you adhere to the philosophy that you are not responsible for how anyone else feels, you are not in a relationship with anyone but you. As a result, people will treat you like the enemy, making people seem as if they are even more dangerous for you to connect to. If you have drawn the sigil, in this scenario, the only way to be in alignment and in reality is to see that you are negatively impacting others. Recognize how and choose with your free will to be responsible for how other people feel. If you do this, you will change your thoughts, words, and actions so you are not causing others pain with those thoughts, words, and actions. Okay, so that was a mouthful. Take what resonates with you. You would know best, and it's food for thought. Okay, and I can, definitely move on to the next one. It says, how can I begin to heal? You have senses, you have creator, and you have sensuality. Senses, I choose to trust the energies of this situation rather than what my physical eyes see. Creator, I manifest my own reality with my thoughts and words. So what you see might not be what you think it is, and your thoughts and your words create your reality. Sensuality, I do not deprive myself of enjoyment in this life. You could be a recluse. You could be isolating yourself from the rest of the world. You could be feeling like you're an outsider from another planet and you just don't feel like you even connect with your own family at times. But the truth of the matter is that we are all connected. So how is this affecting your body? The Two of Swords energy is a cautious energy. You see how they are guarding their chest with two swords, yet they can't see. They can only feel. So this card has moon energy, moon in Libra. The moon is also the high priestess and justice, Libra. And this is a card of harmony, bringing things into balance, balancing the physical with the spiritual. You could be experiencing issues with your partner. You could be in competition with other opponents. You could be controlling. You could be experiencing on again, off again kind of illnesses that you're not familiar with in the body, and ignoring those illnesses without going to a physician. So it's best to kind of just like follow up with your physician and let them know exactly what you've been experiencing, rather it be a rash or a lump or whatever the situation is. Take the blindfolds off and sit with your doctor. Okay? Hmm. Let's move into something truly magical about you here, because I'm looking at your cards. You have ornithomancy. You have footprints. And you have the Ogum. Okay? So I feel that you'll receive most of your clarity, heightened sense of intuition in nature, clear skies, enjoying the sun, going to the beach or by a river or a stream of water. That's what's healing you. Okay, that's how your body recuperates and re-energizes. I feel that you have the gift of being able to sense energy in a room and know if there are hidden dangers. Okay? You know when to get out of situations pretty fast because you just sense it, you feel it. With the footprints card, I feel like you have this, you have this connection to divinity that allows you to like be guarded and protected while you're here on earth, just having that protection. And that's why you have the gift of omen, because your guides are with you and they protect you. So it's important for you to not be too much of a recluse or too controlling, okay? But at the same time, if you're a person that does not enjoy outdoors, this is Ogum. And it's here to remind you that any spiritual gifts that you would like to obtain can be obtained through nature. Nature walks, nature hikes, bathing in the sun, okay? Some of you, when you were children, you may have climbed trees, had a tree house, or you may have even seen certain animals in the forest that only you saw and no one else saw as a child. And it may have warned you to get out of the area or made you feel really uncomfortable and you wanted to leave. Or this could have been someone's home. I feel that, with the footprints here, that you have always been given warnings. And for many of you, you have paid attention to these warnings. If something doesn't look right or feel right, it isn't right. And that's what you've learned to trust. If this person walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. You take people at face value. You're able to read people's energy. Okay? I feel that because you have this protection, because you have the guides with you, that you are also a person that may have the Midas touch. You can turn a dinner for two into a cookout for many. Okay? And in other words, you know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. You know where to go to get the money. You know where to go to get the resources you need, the help you need, but also pay attention to your health. Don't be blind to your health. Okay, so let's take a look at something you're doing right now that you shouldn't stop doing because you're good at it. Okay? All right. So we have the Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Fool. So I feel that you're a prosperous person. Like I said before, you know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. When it's time to let go of things that no longer serve you, you know how to let go. When it's time to start over, or you have no other choice but to start over, you do it even if you don't want to. You have really great ideas and you're not afraid to give them a try, give them a go, even if it shocks other people. I feel that you have a deep sense of optimism, and Spirit is saying continue with that. You have potential and you love enjoyment. Adventures is what I really wanted to say. But you love enjoying yourself also. And you are being awakened by all of the experiences in life because you see them as lessons. Even though at times you can ignore yourself, even when you desire to be by yourself or to be within your own bubble, you still have a lot of love to give others in a motherly way. You could be a teacher, you could be um, someone who is a mother or a father or very connected with their feminine side, and this is also, the divine feminine energy here. Okay, some of you could be on a quest to become pregnant. For infertility could be an issue for you, and spirit is saying don't stop, don't give up. Whatever it is you're doing, you see some changes happening and you're happy about it, continue on with it. Many of you are on a personal quest and journey to align your mind, body, and spirit. And that's what you chose to do in this lifetime. Don't stop. Okay, I'm back. So, let's see. We were leaving off with the energy of you having the Midas touch. How you're not afraid to try something new, go on adventures, and live life the way you see fit. You could be a mother. Some of you could be pregnant or trying to become pregnant, is what I was saying before I was called. Okay, so let's get into the goddess Nyx. Okay. The goddess Nyx pretty much answers the question, what do you need to know right now? Listening. It says, in my house of night, there will be a beautiful girl with skin the color of dark honey, who has the gift of poetry. She is able to weave tales with great detail and expression, yet without being obvious or straightforward. Reading between the lines and finding true meaning are what are required right now. Listen and learn. What others don't say is what is important at this moment. The Grove. Now is the time to apologize to anyone you may have harmed, make your friendships whole again, and choose healing over anger and pain. Choosing my beautiful grove is a powerful sign that you are at a wondrous and strong time in your life. Show compassion and kindness to others because no one is perfect yet. Imperfection is perfect as it is. If you are hurting, know that it will pass and that I watch over you. If someone you love is hurting, take this time to be there for this person. The sacred grove heals all aches and pains, especially a heart that has been wounded. So we take a look at your channel messages. You have Aries, the radical, and Saturn, wisdom. So it could be that you could be a Capricorn, don't necessarily have to be, you could be an Aries or vice versa. All right. But I feel that your messages is of discipline and structure. This is the time to put discipline and structure and take on responsibilities as best as you can. Rather it is the responsibility of your actions or the responsibilities of those you care for, those who look up to you, because some of you could be tarot readers, some of you could be healers, high priestesses, okay? Sometimes you come up as the Empress with regards to other means, especially with this combination here. So I feel as if I feel as though Spirit wants you to work on self-control, okay? You could be a person that has a lot of sarcasm, okay? And Aries is really fiery. It gives me that Queen of Wands energy, okay? And at times, if you need to be, you can be the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So this is also saying to you, be assertive with the Aries energy here. You could be coming off a bit bossy and macho to others, and very competitive. Argumentative, definitely, but it is your way of speaking your truth, right? But what this shadow reading is about overall is you being mindful of those you may have hurt, and there's nothing wrong with apologizing, accepting that you may have been wrong, and going to that person and having that talk with them and saying, you know what, I was wrong. If I hurt your feelings, I didn't mean to, you know. And sometimes people misunderstand you. Um, and that is fine too. Let people get you wrong. You don't have to fight with them just because. All right, so this one ran a bit long. I'm going to move on ahead to the pick a pile option number 2. Divine peace and blessings. I hope that you enjoyed your shadow self reading. Welcome to those of you who chose pick a pile option number 2. This pile is for you. Okay, so I'm not sure who is going to be ready to receive what what the spirit has to say about the work they need to do. So if at any moment you become uncomfortable, you're free to walk away from the video, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get your cards laid out here. You have success, so this is a yes. You are ready to do the work. Okay, you have the shadow card here, that sigil I'll get into in just a moment. Okay, let me get a quick woo-saw. Let me take a look at what it is you have down here. And for your sigil, I'm going to actually read from the book. Okay, and what's so crazy is that you have judgment. This is judgment and this is judgment here. Okay, judgment. All right, so let's get into this sigil and what it means for your shadow work. Okay. All right, so I'm going to try and read as fast as possible. I kind of took my time with the number 1. All right, so judgment. If you have drawn the sigil, your negative judgment in this scenario is making it impossible to get the result you want. To have a perspective at all, you must judge. To even call a clock is to judge it as a clock and thus restrict its potential energy to that of a clock. We judge. That's what people do. And judgment, like any tool, can be beneficial to you or harmful to you depending on when and how it is used. We all have a perspective about each other. If you have an opinion, you have judged. Trying not to have an opinion defies life. It is the flexibility or openness of the opinion that makes the opinion either more or less painful. And it is our perspectives and individual preferences that fuel universal expansion. Hearing other people's honest perspectives can be very beneficial to our growth and to the expansion of the universe. A great many people try to get rid of all judgment in themselves. This is either being, I'm sorry, my face is itching. I'm holding this book. Okay. Mm. Okay. So hearing other people's honest, let's go back. It is the flexible, it is the flexibility or openness of the opinion that makes the opinions either more or less painful, and it is our perspectives and individual preferences that fuel universal expansion. Hearing other people's honest perspectives can be very beneficial to our growth and to the expansion of the universe. A great many people try to get rid of all judgment in themselves. This is neither beneficial nor possible. However, noticing and changing your painful judgments, the ones that seek to push something away from you, as well as developing a flexibility in your perspective, is beneficial. If you have drawn this sigil, let me sit it down so I can get ready to turn the page. If you have drawn this sigil, what you must first understand is that it is painful to negatively judge, and next page, disapprove of something for both the giver of the criticism and the receiver. In holding a negative judgment, we must match the frequency of our negative judgment, and so we hold ourselves as well as the receiver in a low vibrational chokehold. This is what we do when we try to push away anything in the universe based on the law of attraction. We do nothing but vibrationally join the thing we are pushing against. It becomes included in our vibration. This is why many teachers and guides will tell you not to accept any negative judgment within yourself, and instead adopt the policy that if you don't have something nice to say or to think, don't say it or think it at all. But this is neither practical nor useful, and it puts a muzzle on a part of you that very much needs attention and care. Becoming aware of your own judgments opens the door for growth and sharing your honest opinion or experience. Even if that opinion or experience is not positive, provides others the opportunity for growth. When we make judgments about situations, we believe behavior is due to something in a person's situation without fully understanding that person's situation. For example, we may judge someone as irritable because they are on their period, when in fact it is because of something we did to irritate them. When we make judgments about a person's character or personality, we believe their behavior is due to aspects of their personality, when often it isn't. Our brains are wired to make automatic judgments. We move through the world quickly discerning. We do not spend time or energy on understanding everything we perceive. When we judge, we have an attachment to right versus wrong and good versus bad. We are very black and white in the way that we relate to the world. We say a definite yes or no to things without much openness or understanding. In truth, you may be terrified to understand and to open yourself to what you have already condemned. This is an understandable but unnecessary fear. It must also be said that people cannot change or often even admit to what you judge them for. It is too unsafe to do. Flexibility and understanding are the only things that will make a person safe enough to look at the truth and make changes, especially changes that scare them. For example, if you judge someone as bad and wrong for eating meat, they will defend their stance because in that moment you are making them wrong and bad. If you push something away, which is what you are doing when you judge, it will not be open to you or your perspective. If you have drawn this sigil using awareness, patience, and bravery to get outside your attachment to what is right and wrong, good or bad, it's critical so that you can understand instead of judge. Do so sets the stage for unification, harmony, and the communication that creates resolve. Okay, so that's what this sigil here is talking about. Okay, so let's take a look at how you can be how you can actually begin to heal. Okay, so how you can begin to heal? It says you are a survivor. Admit that you are a survivor. Talk about the things that you have gone through. Okay, what has not killed you has only worked in making you a stronger person. Fierce. I have the spirit of a fierce warrior and will rely upon this energy to get through any challenges I may face. Life has built you to be strong, fierce, and bold. Add understanding to that, and you'll know when to apply pressure. Power. I can accomplish any goal that I set my mind to. Nothing is unattainable unless I believe it is. So if you feel as if you are powerless, or that someone has taken power away from you, or if you feel as if you agree or gain understanding that you won't have power, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. This card this card right here, it must want me to read it in the reverse, because I remember turning it around and then it just came right back out when I set it down in the reverse. So I'm looking at some things here and I'm like, wow, okay, I remember me flipping that card over, the flowers and fickle energy in the reverse. Okay, so I'm like looking at this justice card and I'm like, how is the shadow kind of like affecting you in the physical, the body? Okay, and gives me the savior energy. Save me, save me, help me, help me. uh hmm you may be having this kind of like chaotic lifestyle, or you could be feeling your body has iniquities, and it's all about how you perceive yourself of being. If you're eating too much sugar, stop eating too much sugar. Stop eating the same foods day in and day out. Switch up your menu, your taste buds. Try something different. At this time, your relationships, because I do see people in the background here. I see lovers. I see the lovers. And I see 3 naked people. Okay, your relationships, your partnerships are harming you at this particular time. It's like if you have toxic people, or if you have a karmic love situation, or if you have, it's affecting your life. Negative thinking people. Okay, you may have attracted them into your life because of the judgments. Again, like attracts like. When you judge, you are lowering your vibration if it is a negative judgment. So you eventually find yourself surrounded by negative people. If you have enemies, your enemies are affecting your health right now. You could have, for some of you, you could have a lawsuit with the judgment card there. You could have a lawsuit that is impacting, someone could be suing you. Okay, or you could be waiting, or have been waiting a really long time for a settlement in your favor. Okay. I feel that those of you who chose this pile, in your situations, you do have help. Like I said, I felt like this card was saying, save me, save me. And for those of you who wanted to know if you were going to be saved or helped, that you will be saved and helped. The help is there. It's definitely there. You could have problems with your kidneys, okay, because your emotions could be affecting your kidneys, your loins, your lower back, and your ovaries, okay? Some of spirit said cyst, ovarian cyst. Be very careful. Hmm. If you seek harmony in all of your relationships with people, then the universe will reciprocate that same energy back to you. Okay? For some of you, you could be going a little too far and extreme with your relationships. They are becoming too much of an importance to you. It's time for you to draw back your energy and re-listen to what judgment says here and analyze those you have around you to see if they are worth time and effort that you would like to, you know, give your energy to. As far as gifts are concerned, the things that are truly magical. Who is calling me? One moment. Okay. All right. So what's truly magical about you? Okay. So crystal ball, some of you are seers, palm readers, or both. You have no doubt in your mind that you don't deserve love. Okay? There is no doubt in your mind. You know you deserve love. Some of you are healers. Some of you could be gardeners or have house plants. Okay? I feel that your gifts also, uh, hmm. You may be the type of person that you have a gift with words, I'll tell you that much. Okay? With clarity here, the crystal ball. You have a gift with words. I can't pick this card up. What you want to say, you say it. You speak what you feel. Okay? You have a good sense of clarity. Like no one can really get over on you unless you allow them. Or if you're new to something and you're not too familiar with how things go, then okay, chalk it up with being a beginner. But I feel that um, you have you have the gift of foresight. You know that you are beautiful or handsome, and you know that you won't have any problems in love. Okay? But it's time to love yourself, especially with the goddess Nyx here. I feel like you could be wanting to date, but many of you could be single and like waiting. Okay? You could be just waiting for someone special. But they're not going to fall in your lap. You have to go out and get them. But neither here nor there. I feel that you have gifts within reading hands, looking at a person's hands. You may have a fetish with the hands. And because of the fetish, you're able to see certain things about a person's hands. You can tell if this person is lucky. You can tell if this person is hardworking. You can tell if this person likes to talk or if they have an easygoing job, right? You can tell if they're clean, okay? You may be a person that can read body language really well of other people. And that's why you're so judgmental. But the thing is not to judge negatively, but to judge in order to understand. Okay? Because this card here and this card here, they're both cards of interpretation. So it is discernment and judgment with clarity And this one, palmistry, is interpretation. So is this card here. Whenever you're judging, you're discerning. So you have a high level of understanding. You just have to tap into it. Or maybe you found yourself surrounded by a bunch of toxic people, and now you can't get out of that energy, because you can get out the energy. You just haven't left. You aren't listening to spirit telling you to leave, to move, to keep it pushing. Okay. I feel that if you were to focus hard enough with a crystal ball, using crystals, especially clear quartz crystals, you will gain more insight on any situation. Meditate with a clear quartz crystal. Receive its energy to help balance and clear out any negativity. You're a person that looks for signs and symbols in everything that you do. You enjoy omens, signs, and symbols of primordial man. Many of you. Some of you need to give some people the runaround. You're even though you judge people because you're very open, and some people don't deserve your time nor space within a day. Some of you are running away from love, and you're worthy of it. You're worthy of love. You just won't embrace it. It's foreign to you. And it could be that when you were a child, you were judged a lot about your appearance, how you look, how you kept your house, what jobs you worked at, being around really materialistic people when you were young, or having materialistic parents that possibly had OCD as well. Some of you have parents with OCD, Spirit said. Some of you have parents that were really anal, clingy, and they judged you, not knowing that you would mistake it for them not loving you because you reject love. You pass judgment on others, and you at times feel really bad about yourself. But you have all of these beautiful things going on for you. Let's take a look at what it is you do now that Spirit does not want you to stop doing. You have the King of Swords, you have the Knight of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles. This Knight of Wands energy is saying that you are a charismatic person with a lot of passion. You do things on a whim for adventure. You pursue your dreams with vigor. You take action with joy in your heart. Okay. The King of Swords energy is saying that you are a person that is intelligent. You are logical. You have rules. That's why you're judgmental. You have rules, and you have an inner law. You could be very or highly spiritual, a healer, but you're also brave and courageous, the King of Swords. But the King of Swords energy also has the energy to be mean-spirited or speak very mean. The Judgment. The Seven of Pentacles energy here is what Spirit wants you to do as well. Continue to do. Continue to say to the universe you're thankful for what it is you have and having gratitude in your heart. Continue reflecting on your journey and the parts of you that you want to heal and mend and grow from, having done the work, so that you can reap the benefits of your harvest. This is good energy work here, and it's saying keep going. Keep doing what it is you're doing, because it's working for you and it's going to work out for you. Okay? The Goddess Nyx, the number 10, is saying to me that you all have like the cycle that has come to a close. Okay? Are you able to love unconditionally? It's possible with the right people. What you need to know now is that love is around you. Love is in all forms. And that no matter where you are in life right now, love is going to guide you. It's love that guides you. It's anger that stops your growth and stops your progress. Love is the guiding light. Love is the guiding light. You have the number 29. That's the number 11. This is justice. And it's also the High Priestess energy here. Because the 1 and 1 equals 2. And 9 plus 2 equals 11. So that's definitely, some energy here of movement. This is possibly a trip you're going on. Right now, things may seem pretty slow and it might feel like it's a hassle to get up and going and moving around. Some of you could be moving from one state to another, or from one area of your city to another, or from the city to the suburbs, or from the suburbs to the city, or no matter where you're moving to, or if you're just going on a little trip or a vacation, a getaway, or whatever have you, then Spirit supports this. Wonderful changes are possible for those of you who are looking for a house, moving about to find a home that you can call your own. You're going to move closer towards things you felt like were out of reach with this movement card. That's what the Goddess Nyx wants you to know right now. Let's get some channeled messages. I want to pick up both of these cards for a moment. Someone could have Taurus in their North Node. Doesn't necessarily have to, if you're big on astrology. So you have Taurus, the bombshell, and you have North Node, destiny. Someone's headed towards their destiny, but they have to let go of judgments and embrace understanding, and also know that your guides are with you and you are protected on this path. Keep doing the work, because you are going to reap what it is you sow. Thank you for coming here. I'm not done. I'm going to get your channel readings, but I thank you for coming here. Okay, so some of you are recognizing that your soul is in school, and that everything in life happens for a reason, and it's for you to learn so that you can have a greater understanding. And sometimes you can end up in spots where you're not happy and you have to move away from, because the energy is negative or toxic, and it could be clouding your thinking, and you could be adopting, other people's ways of feeling or speaking about others. That judgment, shake it off. It may not be you at this particular time. It could be belonging to someone else. Your inner North Star is your compass to love, self-care. and protection. And you are blossoming beautifully, says Spirit. You are on a journey of your own, and you have integrity. That's why you have so much discernment. Just get away from the negativity. At this particular time, you could be practicing something and developing skills. You could be, learning something at a new job, or you could be a spiritual practice, working on a spiritual practice. But I feel that you are pretty much on your life path and pursuing your life purpose and maturing in it, on it. You're taking your experiences in life and you're gonna pow. You are possibly a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, and even if not, you still have Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo in your natal chart, so you have the ability to be solid. You are blooming. Everything that you do is deliberate, so be careful of what you say. You're a person that is sensuous. You can be possessive. Spirit wants you to work on understanding. All right, so I thank you so much for joining me. Pick a pile option number 2ers. Divine peace and blessings. Welcome back. So for those of you who chose Pick a Pile option number 3, this is for you. Let's go ahead and get your cards out here. See what you got. All right. Take action. So that would mean, yes, you are ready to start healing parts of yourself in order to be more authentic, doing that shadow work. This is your shadow energy. What needs healing? Okay. You have triggers. Oh, you have triggers. You can be a vampire. Okay. And vulnerable. Ooh. Okay. So let's see. You have the Two of Pentacles. You could be a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn doesn't necessarily have to be, or you just could be hardworking. But we're going to get to that in just a minute. You have runes. You have confirmation. You have numerology. You have the Page of Pentacles, the King of Cups, the Magician. You have Invisible. You have Trapped. You have Pluto. And third house. These are your channeled messages. All right, so let me get that comfortable. All right, so let's go to this book and read this card, and I'm going to try and read it as fast as possible. Okay. Ooh, shucks. This one is heavy. Wishing and willing harm. And we got the Magician right here. Some of you are witches into dark magic. Or you could be sending people the evil eye. All right, so let's look at the symbol here. Let's read what it says. Okay. Wishing and willing harm. If you have drawn the sigil, you are most likely totally unaware that you are wishing harm on others and or directly and indirectly trying to punish them. It is natural when we have been hurt to want to hurt others. What we are actually doing when we wish harm on someone is attempting to force them into a state of empathy. Even if it seems as though we are trying to push them away, we are actually trying to bring them closer. Compassion naturally arises as a result of relating to someone's suffering. All we must do in order to feel compassion and know what action to take is to relate to their pain. We are trying to force people into this state in order to become connected to them instead of separated, which is what we feel when someone causes us pain. We are trying to force people into this state in order to stay safe in our relationships and to feel a sense of justice and fairness so we can escape from the resentment we feel. We punish in order to establish a sense of control in a situation where we feel out of control. We punish in order to establish a sense of fairness because we feel wronged, which is to escape from resentment. We punish to try to get people to comply so they don't do something again. But the problem is punishment doesn't work. When we punish, which is to introduce negative stimulus, a person doesn't usually avoid doing the behavior we want them to stop. Instead, they avoid the source of that negative stimulus. This means they still do the behavior. They simply do it behind our backs. If you have drawn this sigil, it's possible that someone is working magic against you, or you're working magic against someone because of your attitude towards them. Spirit just let me know that while I was reading. Now I got to find the spot where I left off at. Good to mighty. Okay. Whew. If you have drawn this sigil, whether you admit to it or not, you feel hatred. It may be very hard for you to admit to this because it will make you feel bad and wrong as a person. Hatred is perhaps the most extreme form of vibrational resistance to something. It is resistance to the degree that one wishes to destroy the thing that is perceived to be causing the pain. The perception of threat causes hatred. The perception that something or someone in your life diminishes something that you hold dear causes hatred. A threat is something that is likely to cause danger or damage. In other words, it is something that is likely to hurt you. When a person feels as if they are in the presence of a threat, they feel fear, and that fear is quickly converted into anger, which is a state of defense. Hatred is the human ego in a state of defense. When we find ourselves hating something, the questions we have to ask ourselves are, what threat does this thing pose to me? How is it hurting me? What am I afraid of? If you have drawn this sigil, you must become aware of your resentment. Resentment is a state of being in pain as a result of perceiving that you have been treated wrongly, unfairly, or unjustly. One of the main challenges as far as resentment is concerned is that it immediately converts into it converts itself to distrust. When you feel like you have been treated unfairly, turning the page, unjustly and wrongly by someone, you have learned that you cannot rely on that person to care for your best interests, and so you do not trust them. The bitter distrust is usually what people are feeling in someone when they say that person can't let go of resentment. It is easier to let go of something painful in the past that does not have a big negative impact on the present or the future. However, resentment often involves being treated unfairly in a way that does have such a negative impact. Ask yourself honestly, am I really resentful towards myself because of my role in the situation where I ended up being treated unfairly? For example, perhaps I got raped after drinking too much and blacking out. Perhaps the resentment towards the other person is a way to avoid the resentment I have towards myself for drinking so much that I let my guard down. Now I cannot trust myself. Often our resentment towards others is a disguise or a way of avoiding facing the resentment we have towards ourselves. Fair versus unfair and wrong versus right are subjective perspectives, but for the sake of our understanding, there are circumstances where a person has felt like they were treated unfairly, when in fact they were treated fairly, and there were or are situations, circumstances where a person perceives themselves to have been treated unfairly, when in fact they were treated unfairly. Either way, the state of being called resentment is present. Acceptance is a key part of letting go of resentment, because if resentment is present, it means you cannot accept something. Don't confuse acceptance of something with adopting something as your preference or endorsing it. Take a look at the situation that is causing you to feel resentment and ask yourself, what am I unwilling to accept about this situation? Why am I unwilling to accept that? If I accepted that, what would it mean? Or what bad thing would happen? This is a mouthful. I'm going to continue to read it, but I feel like somebody here is either sending people like negative thoughts. They kind of have resentment towards people for whatever reason. They're sending negative energy their way. And in return, people are sending you negative energy because you sent out negative energy, and it's just a back and forth thing. If you feel some kind of way about somebody, it's best to step away from that person. So therefore, there is no resentment because you don't see them anymore. Block them out of your life. Okay? Some of you are being triggered from things that occurred in your past, but I'm going to get back to this book. Let's see where we at. Okay. It is easier to, okay. I read that. If you have drawn this sigil, you are being called to deal with your powerlessness and rumination differently. You are preoccupied with thinking about the causes and consequences of your distress and leveling the score by hurting the other person instead of focusing on solutions to your distress. The decision to look for solutions to the distress and solutions for how to make the present or future different in a positive way turns your focus in a different direction, a direction that will lead to results. Now is the time to clearly see how this state of being, though understandable, is negatively affecting your life and is preventing you from taking the actions that would bring about positive change. When we feel resentment, it is an indication that an aspect of us feels like a victim. The aspect needs to be acknowledged and cared for and validated, but you will find that once you genuinely care for the part of you that feels like a victim, looking for any way that you were responsible in the situation will have an interesting side effect. You will no longer feel powerless in relation to the other person. This means you need to take responsibility and take into your hands to learn that lesson and act differently in the future. Just avoid slipping into self-blame. Just avoid slipping into self-blame, and by doing so, making matters worse. What you are wanting will come as a result of stop being against them and starting to be for yourself. Start being for yourself. So you know what that means. If somebody here is in the middle of like a evil eye kind of war, a witch war, or whatever have you, it's time to hocus pocus, keep the focus. The focus is always supposed to be on you and what you're aiming for, what you came here for, right? So let's get into these triggers. So you have triggers. It did mention rape, so I have to feel as though some people have been raped, some people have been mistreated, abused, used, discarded, fleeced, taken for bad. And now they live with this pain. The pain of blaming themselves for what happened to them. And now they project it onto others whenever they are triggered by something someone says. They may attack them verbally. They may just wish really bad things to happen for them. And some of you could be magicians and doing this to people who trigger you. Like get into Facebook arguments, or someone says something on Facebook and now you're like, oh, I'm going to go grab some candles and do some work on this person because they can't talk to me like this. And you may be reading their energy all wrong, or it might have started by something you said to begin with. And that's why you got that cold energy right back. So when someone's behavior irritates me, I take it as an opportunity to heal something unresolved within myself. Because you're irritated doesn't mean they're irritated, right? Okay. These cards here is to help you to begin to heal, okay? And this is saying take action. So that means if it's saying take action, yes, you're ready to face the mirror, all right? Vampire. I will try. Some of you could be psychic vampires. Some of you could be, okay, I will try my best to handle my own issues rather than draining the energies of others around me. You could be going to people and telling people your business and then get mad at them, is what Spirit's telling me. Some of you is going to people about your business and then you get mad at them when they tell you what you don't want to hear or what's true. You don't want to hear the truth. Okay, you're wearing your heart on your sleeve, Spirit says, with this vulnerable card. Opening my heart to the experience of love is truly living. Okay, some of you in your relationships, you're triggered in your relationships and you're a vampire to your person because you're like constantly needing validation or constantly wanting to control and manipulate them with this energy here. But There is some good in this. Don't think for 1 second that there is no good in this reading for you at all. Don't think that spirit is beating up on you because it seemed kind of heavy, and that because it's interesting to me. All of the readings so far have been interesting to me. Don't think that it's all bad, because all of this can be healed. Okay? All of it can be healed. Okay. All of it can be healed. All of it can be rectified. Okay? Rectified. Rectified. Okay. So how are your triggers and your shadow energy here having an effect on your health? Some of you could be reaching towards health goals. Some of you could be gaining weight because you're aging and or going through some forms of depression. Okay. There could be some swelling around the joints for some of you. Some of you could be wanting to, there is a breakdown and decay of the teeth, a weakening of the calcium in the bones. You could, year after year or every other year or every now and again, once a year, okay, come down with strep throat. Just be reminded that the duality of this card is to be responsible for your health. Speak up, not just for your physical health, but your mental health and emotional health as well. They count. Okay? So let's take a look at some of the gifts you have. Okay? Some of. Because there are many gifts that you may have that are not on the table. So you have the gift of numerology, and for some of you, astrology, and for others of you, you're good at accounting and saving money, okay? You're good at perceiving things for what they truly are, okay? You have a good outlook on the world overall, okay? You have optimism. You have strength in your perception, okay? I feel that you have this ability to just look at things from all angles. You also have the ability to act unreasonably, but you know how to check yourself, because take action is here, and it says, yes, you're ready. Okay? You could be definitely into runes or on a spiritual journey where you're learning about the stars and constellations and zodiac signs, astrology and numerology. Okay? And I feel that is a definite gift for you. You could be an accountant, CPA, work with money, foundations or organizations. You could be in communications, IT, or a technician. You could be really good at mathematics. Okay? You're good at mapping things out. You're good at receiving the messages that are meant for you when you're ready. So you are a person that contemplates. Okay? When you want something, you go out and get it with a shooting star. Everything that you have ever hoped for with this card being here, it's a good omen for all of you, that what it is you want in life, you'll receive, because it's what you asked for. So I take that as a good omen here. Your You have strong manifestation powers that allow you to create paths where no one else would tread or go. So if you keep your thoughts positive, you'll see where things will lead for you. Okay? What is it Spirit wants you to continue doing is being represented by the Page of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Magician. For those of you who are witches, magicians, solitary practitioners, and things along that line, even master manifestors, okay? Definitely with the Page and the Magician here. If you have the ability to curse, you have the ability to heal. So your natural talents, it's natural for you, okay, to be a healer, to be strong-minded, to be a go-getter, to manifest what it is you want with patience and being goal-oriented, taking things one step at a time. Spirit wants you to continue on your spiritual journey, but they need you to seek that balance of knowing when to heal and when to defend yourself. Not so much as attack, but to defend. Heal and defend. Okay? You have the gift of patience, creativity, and diplomacy with the King of Cups. With the Magician, you have a natural talent. You have the gift and powers of manifestation, creativity, and you're resourceful. People can come to you about what book should I get, or should I read, or uh, their direction in life. You could be a tarot reader. Okay? Page of Pentacles energy is heavy manifestation. Okay? And you have that strong ability to do money magic. For those of you who aren't into magic, you are a go-getter and are able to obtain whatever it is your heart desires. Okay? This is a card of good news, so many of you have good news coming towards you, and the shooting star is too good news as well. So there is some good news for you on your spiritual journey. There is some good news coming to you with regards to your mundane path. This is her being able to balance her spirituality with her practicality. Okay? So some of you could be beginners, okay, in the workforce, or beginners in a particular field of work that you're in right now, and Spirit doesn't want you to give up because you are new. Some of you could be beginners on your spiritual path and journey, and because you're just learning how things go, you have to, if you know how to curse and that's how you started, or if you learned how to get money and that's where you started, then you learned how to curse, then you have to learn how to heal. Okay? You have to learn how to love, because the King of Cups is compassionate. And he's compassionate where he doesn't have to show emotions. He doesn't get triggered. You'll never know that he's feeling the way that he's feeling. And I'm not saying that you should hide how you feel, but you don't have to react all the time due to being triggered. Okay. The message of Goddess Nyx is that of being invisible. Okay. Some people don't know what you're here for. Some people can't acknowledge you because you don't want to be seen. You don't want to be put in a box or a cage. And so therefore people have certain expectations of you. And you prove them wrong every time because you're like, I'm not that. I'm that and this. I'm this and that. I'm not limiting myself. I'm going to explore who I am. I'm going to explore this world on this journey we call life. Now it's not the time for you to tell and show everybody what it is you know anyway. So it is okay that for those of you who do not want to disclose all of your secrets, and for those of you who don't want to disclose what you do, to disclose what it is you're doing magically, that's fine. Some of you feel like you are trapped in situations, or people want you to behave a certain way or do things a certain way, and you're like, I'm not having it. You could be feeling restricted, but this crow is in a cage, and this cage is temporary. Okay? Your environment will change and shift. Okay? The only thing it requires at this particular time is patience. You'll be free to lead, for sure. Let's take a look at your channeled messages. You have Pluto, and you have the third house of perception, Gemini. All right, so Pluto, transformation, channeled messages. You're going through a renewal. You have experienced some traumas in life. Okay? And you have all the resources you need within you. You're back at your basic instincts, and that's why the magic is coming up so heavy in this reading, because someone, and doesn't mean all of you, but someone is triggered and they use magic to kind of like resolve their issues. Spirit is saying now is the time for you to learn how to heal and start by healing with self. And you have started because you came here to this video, which means you're ready to start working on that ascension. You experience taboos. You have experienced extremes and death, but you have also been granted a rebirth, a renewal, and a reinvention of yourself. You have taken back your power, and you might not know that you've taken back your power. You are living in some evolutionary times at this moment where you are pretty much able to create whatever world you want for yourself and invite others to. The third house, perception, Gemini energy. Speak what it is you feel the need to say. But do it from don't do it from a hurt perspective. Use your higher self. Some of you could be traveling and going on excursions, and some of you could be, circulating something. Some of you could be gossiping and circulating certain kind. Okay, this is what Spirit just gave to me. Some of you evil eyes, some of you are doing magic, others of you are spreading gossip. And you're spreading it around. Okay? And Spirit says you're doing this because you feel trapped, or that you can't get by or past a situation or a person. And you're spreading bad images of this person around in a circle. Take what resonates with you. That doesn't apply to everyone. But somebody had some really hurtful energy here, where they've been hurt and they've experienced some things, and they're making other people pay for it. It's all about how you see things. Okay? All right, so for those of you who chose Pick a Pal option number 3, I'm going to leave your reading at this. Divine peace and blessings. Welcome back. For those of you who chose Pick a Pal option number 4, this is for you. Let's go ahead and get your cards out here. So to answer the question of whether or not you are ready to do shadow work, the answer is no. You are free to go. For those of you who would like to hear more about the work that you need to do before you decide to do it, feel free to stay and watch. Okay, so I am not a person that likes to really give information to people who aren't ready for it. But I'm going to give this reading, and when you're ready, you can come back to it. Okay? When you're ready to hear it, you can come back to it at any time. All right? It'll be here for you to view. Okay, so we have Scorpio and we have Leo on the board. Okay, some of you could be Leos and Scorpios. You don't necessarily have to be. You could have strong Leo or strong, you could be a Leo rising, you could be a Scorpio rising, you could be, you could be any of these signs, South Node. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let me grab the book for your sigil. I'm going to put your sigil here. This is the shadow work that needs to be done. Okay. I'm going to read from the book. Hopefully it's not so long. Let me get my voice ready. Should have got me some water. Disconnection. Disconnection. If you have drawn this sigil, your disconnection is what you are not seeing. The hardest part about disconnection is that when you are using disconnection as a coping mechanism, you feel relief. You no longer feel the tension of the conflict and feeling of separation that was occurring before you disconnected. As a result, you may feel like you are more in harmony and more connected, even though the truth is the opposite. And even if other people are screaming at you that you are disconnected. You feel this way because you are so disconnected that you may not even feel the pain of disconnection itself, and thus do not even recognize that you are disconnected. Disconnection is the state of being detached from something. Disconnection plays out in all kinds of different ways with people. People can be detached from their emotions, from friends, from their partners, from their own essence, from their children, from their hearts, from their true desires, from the impact they have on others, from reality, and the list goes on. Some ways that this disconnection shows up in day-to-day life is that a person can be in a job for years that they hate because they are disconnected from their heart. A person can cause immense cruelty to another person and never even realize they are doing it because they are disconnected from the experience of others. Someone can be feeling sadness and tell you he or she is fine because he or she is disconnected from their own emotions. A person can say things that hurt someone else because they are disconnected from that person's inner world and therefore don't know them enough to know what would hurt or not hurt them to hear. Anyone can have a one night stand and not think about the person they slept with the next day because he or she is disconnected to the degree that he or she can mutually masturbate with no emotional connection. A person can encounter synchronicities and magic and rationalize every one of them because he or she is disconnected from the spirit underlying the matter of this world. Someone can be so focused on projects they are doing with the kids that they fail to connect with the kids while they are doing it, and the kids feel neglected and as if the project is more important because they are disconnected from their children's world and feelings and thoughts and desires and needs. A person can do things in a certain way and have no awareness about why they are doing it because they are disconnected from their own childhood. A man can believe in truth or do things without questioning it at all because he is disconnected from his own inner voice and conscience. A person can look at the world and not recognize themselves and other things in the world and their connection to them to the degree that they declare war that kills millions. And wait before you convince yourself that spiritual people are the exception to this rule. Think again. Spirituality has become one more tool that people use to enhance their disconnection, but to justify it. For example, the spiritual teacher, pain is an illusion, is a way to disconnect from the reality of other people's pain. The belief that higher self has no external needs and the identification with that self over all others and one way of disconnecting from the needs that aren't being met by others and the pain that causes. Positive focus can be a way to disconnect from half of the reality of life and all of one's negative emotions. Open relationships and polyamory can be a way of disconnecting from one's own fear of abandonment and fear of attachment. Disidentification can be a way to disconnect with life. Disidentification can be a way to disconnect with life. Spiritual medicines can be a way of connecting with reality with one's physical embodiment. And this list can also go on and on. If you have joined this sigil, you are being asked to see your disconnection. You are being called to transition out of the state and into connection. Reestablish your connection with whatever you have disconnected from. Okay. Let's go to these three cards. Let me check my camera. All right. How can you begin to heal? Talented, image, promise. Talented. Begin to honor your unique talents as they have been given to you from the divine to share with the world. Image. Be comfortable in your own skin even if others can't accept you. Promise. Don't settle for crumbs. You deserve a great love in this lifetime. Let's see how this particular shadow aspect is harming the body, okay? Um, excuse me, my mouth is getting kind of dry, all this reading. Okay, so how your shadow could be, how this particular shadow aspect could be affecting your body. You have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. All right. Those of you who chose pick a pile option number 4, um, you may be competitive when it comes to your health. It's like, okay, she's got a big butt, he's got big arms. Yeah, let me compete with this person and see if I can get the same thing that they have. Um, you want to look better, stronger, feel better, and live longer than a lot of people. And you kind of like aim at what you don't like about yourself to fix it. You focus on it. And you could be destroying yourself a bit. You may have a hot temper with the Eight of Wands in the reverse. People around you could be overwhelmed and they're not being straightforward with you because they don't know how you'll take it. There's a situation for some of you that could be coming towards you with the Eight of Wands that will have you rethink how things are playing out. Let's take a look at your gifts. Okay? Something truly magical about you is that you're not afraid to take risks. You receive messages from your intuition and spirit guides, your ancestors. Okay? You know that, if you do this, it could be a gamble. It's a risk. You are authentic when you write. You find your ability to write helps people to understand you better. Okay? So you could be working on a book. You could be working on a piece of art. You could be an automatic writer. You could be experiencing some spiritual practices that you're not familiar with, and, just for the sake of adventure, stepping onto that path, and you're good at it. You're good at reading signs, symbols, and omens. Automatic writing. You're a writer, a blogger. These cards here are something that you're doing now that Spirit wants you to keep doing. Had to rub my crystal. Spirit would like for you to keep being creative with your writing. Spirit wants you to continue doing what it is you love. Spirit loves watching you be determined and go after what it is you want because you have the confidence and you're bold and you know how to express yourself. And they enjoy watching you help other people as you build your kingdom or your queendom of power. Okay? Spirit wants you to continue on harnessing and keep on bringing people together that are different. Keep on being a person that doesn't see things in just black and white. Bringing people together that aren't just white or just black. You include all people. You can be a great mediator and help people resolve things. You could be a relationship counselor or something like that. You're able to help people to mend situations, mend themselves most of all. You're a person who knows exactly who they are. They want you not to forget who you are. You're a person with a higher sense of understanding. You're definitely a person who has been redeemed, no matter what path or past you've had. Your heart is true. Okay? Your heart is true. And you have a beautiful spirit. You have a beautiful spirit. Your heart is true. And it's filled with love, passion, and desire for humanity. And it says it's right here. You are talented, and they promise that they will see to it that everything that you want in life, you'll have. Stay focused. Don't let anybody throw you off of your square. Okay? Don't get triggered or forget the lesson here with the shadow. So Goddess Nyx has the cards, the High Priestess of Air. You could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could be a Leo. You could also be a Scorpio. The High Priestess of Air is here. And you have differences. And here we have again, black and white. Even though, so there is still some growth here that you're doing with this. And I think that you're bringing people together, so therefore you can better understand people. I think you're working with different people from different backgrounds and ethnic groups and, status in life so that you can better understand them. And I think that's beautiful overall. So the Goddess Nyx says you have to learn to accept that people aren't the same as you. And this is why they chose you to be this way. And that's why you're doing it and you're learning it. Okay. All creatures are beings and they have the right to be. Okay. The High Priestess of Air is a person that thinks logically. They think that all things have reason. And now is the time for you to think before you act. So this is the time to have reasonable conversations and make calculated decisions about your future and what it is you truly want. So for those of you who chose Pick a Pal option number 4, this is for you. I welcome you and I thank you for coming back if you left because you weren't ready, or if you are ready now and you're watching along with me this entire video all the way through. I appreciate you. Divine peace and blessings. Oh, hold up. I forgot to give you your channeled messages. I kind of like messed up. Okay. I forgot about your 5th house of passion, which we talked about so much, and your 8th house of intimacy. Okay. Okay. So the channeled messages that I get from this is that you enjoy having partners from different ethnic groups or different statuses in life, and that is okay. Don't let anyone tell you that it is wrong. You could be black with a white husband, Puerto Rican, Mexican, or whatever have you, right? It is okay. You don't have to fit the status quo. Okay. You enjoy being entertained and your creativity is off the chart. Okay. You enjoy going to costume parties, some of you. And then some of you could be actors where you perform. You are a performer of some kind. Okay. I feel that, you enjoy, you're a hostess. You like hosting parties, or you like showing people a good time. You could be in like running bus excursions and stuff like that. Be careful because you could have a stalker, or you could be really close to stalking someone that you care about a lot. You feel an intense, energetic pull with this person, and you probably are wondering if they are a karmic or if they are a twin flame. Okay. That candle, I think I just put it out by accident. You do have a contract, a soul contract with someone in this lifetime, and it may be the person that you're thinking about stalking. You have taken risks, and you could be in marketing. You could be like into investing in the stock market or researching the stock market and learning how to invest your money. Or you could be a person that enjoys going to the casino. Okay. But you have definitely somebody watching this likes going to the strip club. Okay. Um, all right. Be careful with your obsessions, Spirit said. Be careful with your obsessions. All right. So I'm going to leave that here. All right. Thank you for joining me. Divine peace and blessings. All right, so for those of you who chose Pick a Pal option number 5, let's go ahead and reveal your cards. Are you ready? The situation will improve. So it seems like some of you could already be doing the work. It seems like some of you could be thinking about doing some shadow work and actually like doing some investigating into what it is and how you do it and things that nature, and because you feel that there are some things you need to definitely heal from. And so this is the okay, it will get better. Yes, watch this video. All right, so I'm going to lay your cards all out. Okay. Okay. And voila. So you have the sun and Aquarius. So you could be an Aquarius sun sign. Okay. You could be, you could be a Cancer. You could be a Gemini. All right. So let's go ahead and get to your shadow energy. I'm going to read the card from the book because I want to give you the full definition of what it means and what it all entails. This is duplicity. Duplicity. I'm going to put that right there. So it says, if you have drawn this sigil, the reaction you are having to something is an indication that you are deceiving yourself. A result, as a result, what you show the world is not a true reflection and may even be the opposite of what is authentic about you. As people, when we have decided it is not okay to own and accept and admit to something about ourselves, we tend to transform the unacceptable into its opposite. For example, when a man who is leading a march against homosexuals is gay himself, or when a woman who hates another woman throws a party for her, or when a man struggles so much with his sexual desire and impulses that he becomes a priest and spends his life preaching against fornication. When we are two-faced or hypocritical, especially when we don't realize it, or if we are extremely polarized in any way, we may be falling prey to duplicity. In research done in 1985, female participants in a study who reported high levels of sexual guilt, sexual guilt, as well as disapproval of erotic imagery, reported low arousal response and even repulsion to erotic images when they view them. However, the devices being used to measure their physical arousal at the time reported the exact opposite of what they said. They showed the highest level of arousal when exposed to the images of any of the participants. Harsh judgments of other people and things, as well as let me turn the page, desire to not set ourselves at the opposite end of the scale and prove we are nothing like that and have nothing to do with it, often points to an insecurity within ourselves. For example, if you are insecure about being a selfish person, you are likely to rant and rave against selfish people and do everything to be a leading example of a selfless person. The things that you oppose need not necessarily be inherently negative, simply things that rather objectively good or bad, you have experienced them as personally unacceptable and shameful. If you have drawn this sigil, you are avoiding an insecurity that does not exist within you and are both denying and disguising it by taking the polar opposite position. Okay, so duplicity is in your shadow aspect that is being revealed today, that shadow would like for you to work on, and says that your situation will improve. It could be that you have experienced a lot of things and that you are protesting against those things and not telling people that you have experienced these things, and that's why you are against them. So the duplicity is you concealing your story while taking up for someone else. You have to add that in there too. For those who have an ear, may they hear that message. Take what resonates with you. So how can I begin to heal is what these next three cards is going to talk about. Reserved. Silence is golden. Some things are just better left unsaid. Alienation. The act of isolation stems from fear of intimacy. Do not take this behavior personally or try to force anyone to open up. So someone could be in your life trying to open you up to intimacy, and you're not trying to be about that. You're reserved and appearingly modest, but you have intimacy issues. Okay? And Spirit is saying this can be healed. There is no need for you to be shamed. And I don't want to clarify the shadow energy here. I don't think that it should be a traumatic experience when that everyone can hear, if it, especially if it doesn't apply to them and they just so happen to bump into this, you know, because they saw you in the comments and said, oh, all right, well, I chose 5 and it was for you, and then they hear all your business. I don't think this particular reading I want to do that. So soul cleanse. I embrace my emotions. Embrace how you truly feel. Okay? If you're angry about something, tell them why you're angry. Why are you angry, son? If you're angry about, you know, people not being acceptable or accepting your, or possibly raising you a certain way, and now you have to kind of like hide who you truly are. And this is one thing, you know, can be many things. Let's see how this is affecting your health. The full energy here. Okay, so you're experimental. Okay, the full energy is Uranus Aquarius energy, and Aquarius is in the board, and I feel like this is definitely for someone who could be an Aquarius or has Aquarius in their chart heavily in their chart, or Aquarius as a sun sign. Okay, but I felt like that last message was for that particular person. So how the universe, how spirit feels your shadow aspect is affecting your body negatively at this particular time. Um, you could be experimental. You could be kind of like always busy, on the phone, on the go, traveling a lot, not able to keep still, risky behavior, kind of accident prone at the same time. Um, you kind of like make really rash and hasty decisions, and or for some of you, you have a child that may be ill. Some of you, it is your inner child that needs to be healed. You have experienced something. Okay, I'm getting a lot of images here, and I really don't want to go into the situations, the sexual abuse that may have taken place in a person's life, or the shame. that some of you may have experienced or endured in this lifetime, in your childhood or teenage, early 20s. Okay. But I get this energy from the Fool that you switch out on partners quite often. You don't allow yourself to feel emotions. You don't allow people in, and you're really laid back and you observe people. Let's take a look at what your gifts are. You may be a cat lover. I'm looking at this cat. Or you just may have a love of animals, but you have really good luck around you. You're a lucky person. Okay? I feel that for a lot of you, it's because of the way that you think. You have a positive mindset. And I can tell by the Ten of Cups being next to these cards that, you see black cats as a good omen. You have emotional fulfillment. You're a happy-go-lucky kind of person. You kind of do whatever floats your boat, right? And you know how to connect with other people's energy. You could be highly empathic, definitely with the Queen of Cups here and this black cat. This is energy work. So you could be an energy worker, Reiki, cat lover, animal activist who has really optimistic and positive thoughts. Okay? You could be a lover of I Ching. You could also be a person that enjoys divination. You could be a person that studies a lot of myths and cultures of indigenous people with I Ching. I feel that you try to give people chances and allow them to change. You give people chances in life to be part of your life. So you're merciful. You know when things have to change, though, indefinitely. If they don't get it, they just don't get it. You know when to release. You may have a really deep knowledge of ancient wisdom. Hmm. And this has helped mold you to being who you are today. And some of the things you might not even discuss with other people. You might not discuss it with them because it was for you to know. You could be in some really great lucky energy with the wishbone and the black cat being here together. You could be helping other people. You could be an occupational therapist, or you could be a person that helps people. You can be an advocate of some kind. Spirit doesn't want you to be a procrastinator. You have an Eight of Swords here. I keep seeing it out the corner of my eye, the Eight of Swords, and this wishbone energy here. You kind of have like this procrastinator energy. Spirit wants you to stop procrastinating. You know how to get things done. You know when things need to get done. Take care of your handle. Handle your handle. You put your natural talents to good use, is what I'm hearing. You put your natural talents to good use. Okay? Someone keeps calling me. All right. So you have the Ten of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups, and you have the Eight of Swords. You're a person that shows love in your community, and Spirit wants you to continue to do that. You could be with your soulmate at this particular time. You all have children, and you still find time to help others in the family. You're like a soccer mom or a baseball dad kind of energy with the Ten of Cups. Spirit says continue with that. People come to you and talk to you about their situations because they know that you are intuitive and that You are in tune with other people's emotions and you have compassion, and spirit knows that your empathy pretty much is needed in the world. They want you to stay encouraged and continue to do that. Okay. You could be healing from a situation at this particular time. Spirit wants you to continue on that journey of healing so that you can continue on your journey of helping. You have a tendency to lead with your heart more than your mind. You don't allow yourself to get stuck for too long. So, the procrastinating is not too much of a big thing, but you do find yourself kind of getting lazy sometimes. You may be telling an old story to people, or you could be running an old story in your head over and over again. Spirit says they don't want you to continue doing that. You are not there anymore. You are not in the past. It does not hurt you the way that it did then now. It has no power over you. Okay, so the goddess Nyx has some messages for you. She has fragment and she has choices. Okay. Fragmented and choices. This is about your energy. Feeling scattered. Being all over the place. And I can see why, because you love humanity. You love your community. You love your family. She's saying love you and see yourself whole. Because your energy is fragmented, you need to take some of that love and give it to yourself. Choose you. I just heard. Somebody needed to hear that. Choose you. Before you choose to give your energy to someone that may not deserve it, or a situation to your energy to a situation that doesn't deserve your energy. Choose you, your path. Okay, so right now you could be faced with, making a decision. Okay. And all you have to do is ask, before you go to bed tonight, ask yourself, is this for my highest good? Okay. Let me get some channeled energies here. You have the sun energy here. So if you have a question, you wanted to know something, if you wanted to know if the answer is a yes or no, the answer is yes. If you wanted to know something, if you had a question, a yes or no. Spirit says that you have a beautiful essence. You have a lot of energy and you are aware of yourself. Your life force energy kind of spreads out amongst your community, and people and things become beautiful because you step in the room. You shine, you glow. Okay. You could be dealing with issues with your father, or your father may have recently passed for some of you, and or you are missing your father. Okay. You may have been really close with your father. You could be a person that may be in need of a break at this particular time. You know that you are an individual amongst the group called humanity, and that your path is your own. You are aware. You are self-aware. You are a rational and liberal person. Somebody's electric bill, somebody's concerned about their electric bill. Okay. Somebody can be really radical about humanity and humanitarian, or an activist for humanity. Some of you could be feeling a bit detached and disrupted at this particular time, and people may see you as eccentric, or futuristic, not of this world, or kind of like out of touch with things, because your life is different to theirs. And it's because you're an innovator. All right, so for those of you who chose Pick a Pal option number 5, this is for you. I wish you well on your journey to authenticity. Divine peace and blessings. All right, welcome back. So for those of you who chose Pick a Pal option number 6, this is for you. Let's go ahead. All right, so are you ready to do the shadow work? If you believe. All right, so I'll get into your shadow work card, the aspect of your shadow that you must work on at this particular time. You have revenge, you have worry, you have unavailable, you have Knight of Swords. Somebody could be dealing with some shoulder stiffness, back pain, okay, have some injuries in the upper back and neck, okay. Your gifts. What Spirit wants you to continue to work on and not stop doing. Don't give up. Vision. Some of you could be clairvoyant or receiving messages, dreams, working with the moon as well. And it's working for you. Okay. Let me get my book for this shadow aspect because I'm going to read to you all that it has for you. So be patient. Let's see. Okay. Inauthenticity. Inauthenticity is this number 23. If you have drawn this sigil, you are not being authentic. You are not being honest to yourself or to others. Each person comes with a unique essence, like an energetic signature, and our unique purpose, thoughts, unique feelings, desires, unique needs, and role within the greater universe is embedded in that essence. You could picture that essence as a unique pearl that is contained inside a lotus flower that is tightly closed. Our life experiences is a process of unfolding in a perfect world. That lotus blossom would bloom naturally, its petals unfurling to reveal the pearl within to the world. Unfortunately, we live in a world where the process of socialization and therefore parenting is quite often an impediment to this process of unfolding. The people around us look at us as if we are a raw substance to mold into what they think is best for us and for them. They tell us that certain things are acceptable, and if we are those things, we will be loved and safe. They tell us that certain things are unacceptable, and if we are those things, we will be rejected and unsafe. Anything that remotely resembles something that will meet with disapproval is then something that we feel vulnerable about. And we begin to process. We begin a process of splitting ourselves. We put forward only the things about us that make us loved and safe in the world. The rest we keep hidden. It is as if we will not let certain lotus petals open, and by doing so, we keep the pearl hidden in order to fit into the world, be loved, and feel safe. Authenticity is the consciousness mending of the incongruences between one's inner self and outer self. Is there any incongruence between by my outer self and my inner self? When we care so much about seeing ourselves as good that we cannot admit to aspects within us that wouldn't be seen as good, we are being inauthentic. When we are gay but we pretend to be straight, when we are being, well, we're being inauthentic. When a person says they are not artistic because they suppressed that inside themselves long ago, this is not being authentic. When a person says they like something or acts as if they do, when the truth is they hate them and want to be nowhere near. Okay. When a person says they like someone or acts as if they do, when the truth is they hate them and want to be nowhere near them. This is being inauthentic. All right. So let's take a look at how you can begin to heal this aspect of your shadow. All right. Living your best life helps you to deal with your injustices. All right. So they say success is the best form of revenge. Worry. Worrying does nothing but disempower me. I choose to accept whatever outcome is for my highest good. Okay. So some of you could be a bit of a worry wart, and it's taking power away from you. And you have to learn to have acceptance with whatever comes your way. Unavailable. This rejection is my divine protection. All right. So if in fact you love someone and they aren't reciprocating that love, take that for face value and know that their rejection is protection. Okay. And how is this shadow energy? How is the emotions of having this shadow energy? Okay. Some of you don't want somebody and you don't want to tell them that you're not interested. Some of you want someone and you're not telling them that you want them. You would rather be without them. Okay, so it's causing you emotional pain in your neck, back, shoulders. Spirit said spleen, your nerves. Some of you could be having respiratory issues. Some of you could be failing with regards to like depth perception, how deep or how far objects are actually, and you're walking into walls and things like that. Because how you feel on the inside and what you're hiding or keeping bottled up has a negative impact on the body. Okay. Let's take a look at some of your magical gifts. Okay. Something that is truly magical about you is in these cards right here. Okay. Some of you already are meditating with phrenology. Okay. Some of you have really good skills at meditating. Okay. You know how to quiet the mind when it gets too chattery. Okay. And some of you may need to adopt the habit of meditating more because you might have stopped. Some of you have that ability to just like take risk and dive right into situations without thinking twice. You're like, I know it's going to work. Boom, I'm on it. You have guides and they talk to you. You hear them talking to you. Some of you have the ability to monitor. You may have the ability. You might be telepathic. Is what I'm getting here. Telepathy, telepathic. Oh, I got so excited with that one. Spirit said telepathic, telepathy. I was like, okay, some of you are telepathy, and it's because you have the gift of psychometry, where you can touch objects and pretty much can sense the energy around situations, things. If you pick up an item, sit on a chair, touch a door knob, or wow, you have the ability to know how to heal yourself through cleansing, spiritual baths, healing yourself, to let go of any illusions that you might have picked up within this illusionary world of like Hollywood and stuff. Some of you don't like horror films. Some of you like them, but recently you just kind of like fell back from watching them. Or anything that's just too outrageous. You don't want to watch it. It's like you have no desire to watch it. I see some moon energy here. Okay, someone could be working with the moon. Someone's really in touch with their feelings. Some of you are working on your bad habits and could have some issues with your digestion at this particular time. Okay, some of you feel your intuition within your gut. Okay, and you're looking to surround yourself with people, or you want someone in your life that has sustenance. Okay, some of you are struggling with a relationship with a mother, and some of you are missing your mother. Okay, some of you, the family conditioning has took place and you're trying to like escape the family conditioning, whether it was from religion or whatever. You know how to self-soothe. You know how to take care of your emotions. I feel like you are a person who likes to help others and aid them on their path. You have gifts that are supportive to other people, and you help them to heal. Okay, even just by talking with them, talking to them. You enjoy working to help other people. You may be a person that likes to read romance novels, mystery novels, or self-help books. Okay, so I feel these cards here. Okay, before I get into that. Okay, so there are some Christians here that are doing some shadow work. Okay, thank you for joining me. Okay. Uh, hmm. Something you're doing now and shouldn't stop. Some of you are high priestesses. You are part of an order. Okay. You could be pastors of some kind, or you could be part of a coven, or very interesting. Some of you could be dream interpretations. You might have learned this while you were a Christian. Some of you have learned it on your spiritual path. Dream interpretations. You are definitely clairvoyant. Okay. Definitely clairvoyant, or heightened sense of intuition. You receive visions. Okay. You have really deep psychic insights with vision here and the high priestess here. Spirit wants you to continue developing your heightened sense of perception, your sensory perception. Okay. You're a thoughtful leader. You can be a thoughtful leader. If you're thinking about lead. Okay. Some of you could be counselors, advocates, or all of the above with this energy. You're highly intelligent. And you speak the truth so sharply with the Queen of... You cut straight to the truth of the matter. You could be feeling left out or ostracized by a group of people, unrecognized. Focus on you. You've been through some situations. You're healing. You're getting stronger. And this is your chance to clear any blockages within your energy field that need healing, and especially this duplicity. Okay? All right, so for those of you who chose Pick a Pal option number 6, this is for you. I appreciate you watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Divine peace and blessings.